What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I'm with you today. I've been, a little MIA recently. Life's crazy as always, and it's, been the off season, so not a whole lot going on. But training camp is starting up, and there is actually a lot to talk about. Some back news, some backed up news, obviously from the past, week or so, that I want to, get to and catch you up on. So I got a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about in this video, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get right to it. So I'll try and keep this as not all over the place as I can. But there's a lot of stuff here. It all kind of ties in together, of course, but I'm gonna try and go in chronological order here. So excuse me. So there were some moves, some roster moves made recently, including Dwayne Allen, Mike Hall, and Cordray Tankersley being put onto the PUP list. So physically unable to perform list. They all have some sort of ailment, some sort of obviously physical ailment that is not allowing them to participate. So that's, down one of the tight ends, one of the veteran old tight ends that we brought in. Just keeping it real, right? Dwayne Allen, it's like we've talked about it before, right? He had some good, decent production earlier on his career, kind of, fell off, became more of a blocking guy than, anything else. And he's just kind of been whatever since then. He's gotten older now, obviously, because he's been in the league now for, a few years. So look, it is what it is, right? So, but we're down one of those, tight ends that we brought in the off season. We're down, Mike Hall, is down. So one of our linebackers, he's, developing a bit of an injury history himself. So that, that takes away from some of our depth at linebacker. Cordray Tankersley, is, like I said, also on PUPs. So he, that drops us a corner. Obviously, he was a draft pick of ours. We were hoping that, he could develop and step into that number 2 role. But, so far that hasn't happened. Obviously, part of that has been because of injuries that he's dealt with. And so that appears to be continuing. So, we'll see. We'll see, unfortunately, obviously you guys know, I didn't really think too much about the Dwayne Allen signing. I thought it was a little pointless unless like your intention was to use him as like an extra offensive lineman because you anticipate that your offensive line is going to suck. And that's why you brought in, guys that are, more blockers than anything. But, we lose some, for sure, some solid backups, both in the secondary and in the linebacking unit. So that's, going to be something to look at. And, I was saying that I thought that the defense was going to be the strong suit of this team. But we'll see. We're starting to already, the season hasn't even started. Training camp hasn't even started, and we're already starting to get injuries. So we'll see how that all works out. And, some corresponding moves, though. They brought in Jamar Summers at cornerback, and then Will Holden for the offensive line. So they did bring in a guy, on the offensive line. So it's another body. I don't really know too much about him. So it's just another guy we'll have to keep an eye on in training camp, to see how, everything shakes out. Who are, obviously, because we have no idea really. We have, potential guesses at who the starting offensive line is going to be. Tunsil's a lock. I'd say Kilgore is probably going to be our center. But you know, that's probably not a guarantee, and everything after that certainly isn't a guarantee. So we'll see how that shakes out. You know, good that they brought in another body, but you know, we need quality starters, you know, at the end of the day. Otherwise, our offense is going to be putrid. Just keeping it real, man. Just keeping it real. So, you know, we claimed those guys off of waivers. There was actually quite a bit of roster moves and things going on. We also brought in David Rivers and Tyler Patman, both corners, because, you know, we you know, had an injury there. But in a corresponding move with that, they waived center guard Ryan Anderson. So they dropped another guy on the offensive line in a corresponding move there. So, you know, they brought in a guy, they let a guy go. They dropped, you know, they lost a tight end, you know, a corner and a linebacker to injuries. They brought in 3 cornerbacks, so they lose 1 but bring in 3, which to me doesn't really make that much sense, especially because you need guys elsewhere. You only brought in 1 offensive lineman, but you also let 1 go. So, you know, that's kind of a, you know, a wash, I guess. I mean, you know, I guess they feel like the guy they brought in is going to be better than the guy that they let go, so theoretically. We also we had a couple other guys that were in for workouts, but they did not sign. We signed Tyler Patman, who actually was with the team before. He was with the Dolphins before, and David Rivers and Jamal Summers. We signed those guys, but we did also bring in Matt Elam. It was a first-round pick in 2013 by the Ravens. He played 26 games, and then Dexter McDonald. Those guys both tried out but didn't sign. So, you know, I mean, look, like I said, I can't remember, damn it, what it was. I've been so wrapped up in other things, I haven't really thought about football too much. But thankfully, you know, training camp is coming up, so we're gonna get, you know, more into the thick of it. I'll be definitely making more videos. You know, since things are going to be, you know, a lot busier in that regard. So, but there was something else that I talked about recently. I can't think of what it was off the top of my head, but, you know, some little bit of adversity hit. Oh, right. I remember what it was. It was the fact that, damn, now I can't remember his name. The coach that is taking some time away because of health issues. I can't remember. Anyway, like quarterback's coach or something like that. Anyway, assistant, head coach, something or other. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. It was in one of my previous videos, and I'm sure you guys heard the news. Anyway, so, you know, but look, I mean, if we didn't already have a big enough hill to climb going into this season, well, it's getting harder, and the hill's getting bigger, because, you know, we're losing players. You know, we lost a coach, right? So, I mean, look, man, I know people don't like it, but I gotta keep it real, man. Like, it didn't start off, you know, in a very promising, you know, position for us with the complete, total rebuild, firing of the old, you know, the old staff, you know, all brand new staff, which one of those new staff members is now out because of health issues. You completely revamped pretty much the entire team, like gutting the motherfucker damn near to the studs, right? So, you know, you didn't address the offensive line. You, in my opinion, got worse at quarterback. And, you know, now you're starting to pile up some injuries and stuff already, you know, and training camp hasn't even started. Also, not only that, but running back Mark Walton, he's dealing with some legal issues. He's got a felony gun charge that he's, you know, dealing with. I guess it got dropped, the gun charge. But, I mean, that's just more, internal adversity that, certain players, got to deal with. Coaches got to deal with that stuff, right? So it's just more, drama, if you will, around the facility and everything. And it just adds to, the pile of stuff, right? So like a couple years ago in 17, right, it was a year of everything that could happen did happen, right? Like last year, it was predominantly just injuries. Like, we couldn't stay away from injuries. Like every single week, not only were we having guys get injured, but they were starters. They were key players and whatever, right? So, it was pretty much one thing last year, right? Or one or two things. The year before that, it was like everything that could happen did happen, right? Natural events, natural disasters rather, right? People going AWOL, coaches getting fired, right? All that, all this, that, and the other, right? So, craziness. Well, it's kind of, shaping up a little bit like that. Frankly, if I'm being honest, and if I'm looking at it right now, it's kind of at this point shaking up to be a mix of, really, if you think about it, this year, and I know a lot of people are going to hate this, but this first year of this new regime is shaping up to have a lot of the same problems or similar problems to each and every one of the 3 seasons that Adam Gase and his regime had. And so let me explain, right? So similarities to year 1. First year head coach, brand new staff, although not as much a new team because they didn't have such a major turnover, right? They didn't just like jettison, a quarter of the team and then let another quarter of the team just walk, right? So there's that. But there are some similarities. Obviously brand new, regime and, new coaching staff, first year head coach, right? He's never been a head coach before. He's never actually even been a coordinator because he was only the defensive play caller last year, not actually the coordinator. So that's a big deal, right? So, and then, the previous couple years, we're already getting the injury bug before, and we know people are going to get hurt throughout the season. That's a guarantee, right? And we're not even at training camp yet, and we've lost at least 3 guys to injury, and what you would consider important guys. A couple, like Mike Hull is a special teams ace, and or major player on special teams. He's definitely made a home there and done some really good stuff for us. And then a solid backup. At least, a backup at corner with Tankersley, and then, maybe not your starting tight end, possibly a starting tight end, but one of your top, tight ends on the depth chart in Dwayne Allen, right? So you're losing some guys to that. You got the one dude that's dealing with, personal issues, right? It's different than, what Lawrence Timmons was going through, different situations, scenarios, people involved, so on and so forth. But there is that off the field drama element, like in year 2 of Adam Gase's regime. You have, just like in year 2, you have major flux at quarterback because when Ryan Tannehill was out, we brought in Jay Cutler. We didn't know what the fuck was going on, blah, 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 blah. And that obviously, eventually unfolded into a disaster. Man, so, look, there's little similarities to and not only that, but I know for, Florida's not having, at least right now, they're not having a hurricane like they did a couple years ago. But, climate change sure is shit. Or sure as shit is affecting the hell out of Florida and, causing a lot of problems, whatever, rising tides and so on and so forth, right? So there's all kinds of stuff going on from that. Look, and then, you have a defensive tackle who got in a car accident, right? And now, you don't have him on the team. He lost his arm, for fuck's sake. That's crazy, right? And, obviously, like, I mean, that's because that's something that, you know, unfortunately, I bet you, you know, that's something that will linger around the building and stuff like that, and with the guys, right? You know, I mean, because he's gonna still, you know, kind of want to be around, like, you know, he's still trying to stay. And not only that, but some good news though, the Dolphins are going to pay his entire salary, which is dope. And they should. I think that was, you know, both the right call, and, you know, it was smart, right? And so, and they should, man. I mean, yeah, I mean, the dude lost his fucking arm, for fuck's sake. He can't play football anymore, right? So, I mean, look, dude, the adversity is mounting. I mean, if it wasn't already enough going into training camp and coming up to this point, right? By the way, the rookies did report. You know, they reported on July 21st, you know, a few days ago. So look, I mean, you know, training camp is getting ready to kick off. You know, but going into training camp, we're just going into training camp, and man, I'm telling you, like, it's just, I hate to say it, but it's gonna be too much. They're not going to succeed. I hate to say it. I really do. I really do. It, like, kills me as a fan, but I have to be real. Like, I'm not going to just come up in here and just, you know, be all flowery and say nice things and sugarcoat shit. You know, I'm not going to polish a turd. You know, it's like that little saying or whatever. You know, it doesn't matter how much you polish the turd, it's still a fucking turd, right? So, and again, I really hope that they prove me wrong, but unfortunately, I mean, with all the information that I have available to me, it does not look very promising at all. And it just, I mean, I'm sorry, but the odds are far greater that things are going to be a complete disaster for the Dolphins and this team this upcoming year. And frankly, again, I'm worried, and, you know, I've told you guys that my main concern is that, you know, we are going to have a down year this year, probably next year. Unfortunately, at this point, I'm not too confident that this regime is actually going to even make the right calls to set themselves up for an opportunity to get it right. But no matter what, I still advocate for them to have a full 5-year window to see if they can right the ship if it does go wrong in the first couple years. But it just, to me, from my perspective, with the information that I have, it just looks like it's shaping up to be a pretty disastrous thing. And then, you know, after a not good year this year, and then, you know, probably next year as well, and we're probably going to end up taking either, you know, Tua Tagovailoa or, you know, Justin Herbert early in the first round next year, which I think is just going to compound our problems and, you know, make life a living hell for that young quarterback, because we're still not going to have addressed adequately the offensive line. So I think that's going to end up being a disaster again, and part of the reason why we will not succeed again next year. We have to see, you know, I'm foreshadowing a bit, but my guess is that after we have a bad year this year, what everybody's going to be clamoring about, because we're going to see Josh Rosen and Ryan Fitzpatrick struggle immensely, but hardly anybody though is going to talk about the real fundamental problems and why that's the case. Ryan Fitzpatrick, frankly, is just mediocre at best to begin with. Josh Rosen has a ton of potential, but he showed last year that, you know, early in his career, maybe he, you know, gets better. You know, you would hope he gets better, but maybe he gets better later on. But earlier in his career, if he doesn't have an offensive line, he's going to struggle immensely. And I'm telling you, he's going to look like garbage next year when he gets to play, because he will. It's going to flip-flop between the two. And, you know, at some point, he will come out, and it's not going to look good. And so, but everybody's going to be clamoring for that, you know, first round quarterback, because everybody's going to be like, all we need is a quarterback. All we need is a quarterback. If we just get that gem of a quarterback, then everything's going to be right with the entire team. Like, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. right? Like the philosophy that all you need is a franchise quarterback, and then somehow magically, if your offensive line is not good, it's going to be good. Somehow magically, if you don't have good receivers, they're all of a sudden going to be good because you have a great quarterback. Like that's not, or the defense. Like if your defense isn't good, all of a sudden your defense is going to be good because you have a really good quarterback. That's not the case. Like the amount of times that happens is super rare, especially for a quarterback just coming into the league fresh out of college. Like it's absurd. It's absurd. You know, and that's why, like, I think Tannehill gets so much undue shit talking, because I bet you anything, I guarantee, I don't have the resources or time to really dig into this, unfortunately. You know, this is not my job, so, but I guarantee that if you actually did a comparison between all first round quarterbacks, if you did a comparison between all first round quarterbacks in history, right? First round quarterbacks in history, and then cross-reference that or narrow it down to quarterbacks who went into the starting lineup in their first year, I guarantee, and then looked at their careers, looked at those quarterbacks and their careers over the first 4 years of their career, I guarantee you that none of them performed as well and grew and developed as well as Ryan Tannehill did over his first 4 years, with all of the turmoil, turnover, craziness, drama, and terrible offensive line play that he had. I'm just saying, I don't know, you know, that's just my perspective and a guess, right? Because I don't have the facts. You know, I don't have the time or resources to look into all that and do all that research. So it'd be awesome if somebody could. Hopefully one day, maybe, you know, I'll be able to do it when I'm, you know, able to do more with this. But anyway, look, I mean, it's gonna be an interesting situation, right? And so also too, one thing that caught my eye, you know, we're going into training camp, and I saw somewhere that, you know, we're going into training camp after we bring in, you know, after we brought in David Rivers, Tyler Patman, and Jamar Summers, right? All these, you know, corners. After we brought in all these guys, apparently we have 17 defensive backs on the team, including corners and safeties, as of right now, going into training camp. 17. Look, dude, I'm sorry, but that's insane. And again, to me, from my perspective, when I evaluate that, that's not good. Because again, our offensive line is in such disarray, and we have no idea who the starting lineup is going to be. You need more camp bodies on the offensive line. But they, you know, they brought in a guy, but then they also got rid of a guy, and they've certainly gotten rid of, you know, more guys and more quality guys on the offensive line this offseason and up till now than they brought in. So to me, you should have, you know, some of those spots, because cornerback is not, even with Tankersley going down, it's not, we know Howard is going to be the number one corner. We know that, I mean, the way it should be from my perspective, again, from my perspective, is Howard is the number one. I would guess Eric Rowe is probably going to be the number two, but you got tons of guys, so somebody's going to, you know, end up in that spot. I would say that Bobby McCain should be his nickel spot, and then you have Rashad Jones, Fitzpatrick, and TJ McDonald, and Walt Aikens. I mean, a great foursome of safeties there for starters, rotational starters, and backups, that you're good. in the secondary. I think, again, I've said that the secondary is one of our, but look, and so, they talked about, oh, well, I think Stephen Ross said something, or somebody had said something about, or maybe it was Chris Greer, somebody, I can't remember who, but somebody said, we weren't looking for an offensive minded head coach or defense, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And maybe that's the case. Maybe they didn't really take that into consideration when they brought him in, Brian Flores. But Brian Flores is doing what every other coach does, which, I don't disagree with in and of itself, right? And what we're talking about is they do what they do, right? They bring in guys that they know. Like 2, 3, or 4 guys on the coaching staff are from the Patriots. He brought in, a handful of guys, Dwayne Allen, Eric Rowe, right? Dwayne Allen and Eric Rowe came from the Patriots, right? So, and he's stacking defensive guys, right? But, you want to talk about defense, we need defensive ends in the defensive line. So bring in more guys there. Why do you need 17 defensive backs? Like, that's fucking crazy. That's crazy. You could have, 17, let's say it's an even split. So you got like at least eight guys at each position or something like that. You don't need that many fucking defensive backs, especially when you have such major holes elsewhere. That's all I'm saying, right? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And I think it's just, in addition to everything else that keeps coming up, more and more stuff's coming up. But in addition to all of the, the injuries and the Kendrick Norton in his car accident and so on and so forth, all this other stuff, man, it's adding up to be a recipe that is not going to taste very good, unfortunately. And to me, that's just another data point to say that, like, they're just not making the right choices. Again, that's, it's my perspective based off of my analysis of the information and the data that I have available to me. But to me, it doesn't look good. And again, just another data point to me that points in that direction. So a couple other quick things. One, and I do want to end on a more positive note, so I'm going to save one thing for the end. One thing I wanted to talk about, though, is there was an article and some discussion about, Brian Flores, and he's been saying this since he came in, and the guys say it too, that they're going to go out there and they're going to try and win every game. And I believe him. I believe that they want to. I believe that they're going to try, I don't think that they're just going to throw games, right? Even if they had it in their mind to, not win very many so that way they could, go high in the draft and get a quarterback or whatever, which I think is a terrible decision and strategy if that was to happen. But if they were planning something like that, look, I don't know. Frankly, I would be surprised. Although maybe I'm being naive, whatever, but I don't think that they're going to just lay down and throw games. And I think they genuinely do want to win games. I just don't think that they're genuinely going to be able to, unfortunately. I don't think the offense, is going to do shit, frankly, because the offensive line is going to be garbage, which is going to in turn make our quarterbacks garbage. And then, it's just a wrap from there. And the defense could be a strength. I think it's, going to be a strength of this team, but I'm starting to question that a little bit now, even with some of the ways that they're handling this. It's just training camp and it's just bodies, but God damn it, you have more important things, man. You have your slot corner set. You have one of your boundary corners set. You have some solid backups. All of your safeties are set. Why do you need that many fucking guys? Like, it blows my mind. Anyway, so, like I said, I think he is genuine. I think he wants to, and I think he's going to try. I just don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think we're going to win more than 3 games. We do have a tough schedule, and the adversity is, just getting larger and larger, with all of the stuff that's coming out, Again, Kendrick Norton in his car accident, these pretty, key guys already, some key guys already getting hurt. Offensive line not adequately addressed. In my opinion, worse at quarterback. You have, again, Mark Wanton dealing with some, legal issues. Coach that is, off because of some health problems, right? It's just, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, people want to hate on me for it, and it's cool. It's cool. Everybody can hate on me, but look, and again, man, I really, I can't express to you enough how much I want to be wrong. I just don't think I'm going to be. And it's going to suck. It's going to suck to watch, us be even shittier, I think, than we have been for the past several years. We've been a very mediocre team, usually somewhere between 6-10, 10-6. And we usually hover around 8-8. So, but I don't think we're going to win more than 3 games, unfortunately. Anyway, so I know fucking, a lot of people hate on me for it. Whatever. A lot of people get in the comment section, talking shit. Whatever. Look, I don't care, because I got to keep it real. And this is, this is how I see it. And it'll just be like, because the thing too, at the end of the day, if I'm wrong, I'll be so happy to admit it. And it's so crazy that people would think that I enjoy talking shit about my own team. That's absolutely insane. For anybody who knows, or that I hope my team, I've been a Dolphins fan for so long. I've showed you guys my a lot of my memorabilia and stuff. I have a pretty damn good collection. I intend to get a Dolphins tattoo someday. I got custom Nikes. Look, I'm a Dolphins fan through and through. So I'll be super happy to be able to change my perception and my stance on things to, yeah, man, they turned it around. They did some damn good things. I consider myself a logical person, and it's just not adding up to that. So we'll see. Anyway, so to end on a little bit more of a good note, apparently D'Angelo Hall has been talking, a little bit, former NFL player, cornerback, right? He's been talking a little bit about Xavier Howard and how he thinks he's the best in the game and so on and so forth. And look, I don't know if he's the best cornerback in the game. Jalen Ramsey is really good. There are definitely some really good corners out there right now. Some good young corners at that, but he is definitely, for sure, without question, top 5. I would say probably top 3 and in the conversation for the best. So absolutely. And one of the things that I definitely think this regime and this front office and this coaching staff or whatever did right this offseason, absolutely, was pay the man. Pay the man, because if you're going to have any hope to do anything and have any success ever, now or in the future, he should be a staple. Again, unfortunately, I think that they're making too many of the wrong decisions, and I think that they're actually setting themselves up for failure, because I think that, unfortunately, the bad choices are going to override the good choices. But again, to end on a good note, I did love that move. It was wonderful. And, I do want to see, no matter what, it would suck for sure if the next few years of his career, and certainly the prime of his career, are, wasted, and they would be wasted if, we have shitty seasons and we don't make the playoffs, within the next few years or whatever, right? So, and then, once he starts getting old, and if he starts, getting injured and stuff like that, right? And we don't have him anymore for the prime years of his career. So I do have obviously some, some concerns there, but having said that, I again, I love that move. I thought it was super important that they did that. And I told you that was definitely one of my keys to the offseason. So they aced that. They didn't, in my opinion, they did not ace the draft. And I thought that was another key to the offseason. But, you know, again, they have a chance to prove me wrong. Anyway, so, again, to end it, Xavier Howard is a boss. He is a young superstar for sure. I'm super glad that they kept him. And, you know, I hope that, I really, 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 really do hope that he and the guys and everybody can, you know, put this together, man, because I want, you know, I want to watch some good games, and I want to see us win. I want to see us win. So that's how I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Like I said, guys, I am going to definitely be more involved again. Like I said, I mean, I'm sorry, you know, that I've been away so much recently. Like, my life has just been absolutely off the wall. So, you know, I'm trying to get things, you know, settled out. You know, I got class again starting up in August, and, you know, obviously the training camp and stuff is starting, so I'm going to be more involved with that. But I definitely will be. So expect more videos, expect more content and stuff like that. And look, let's hope for the best, man. Let's keep a watchful eye, you know, and let's see how training camp shapes up. You know, that's obviously the next step. So let's see what happens. You know, there's a lot more of this story that needs to be written, so let's take it one step at a time, and let's do it together. So with that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I hope you do enjoy my videos. If you do, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Make sure you hit the like button as well. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. And of course, as always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.